You can't throw at Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Only losers say that they throw at other players. Well, guess what? You're watching the wrong show. This is New York Minute Sports, and I'm going to tell you the facts. And the facts are, I grew up in the 90s. I grew up with guys like Roger Clemens, Pedro Martinez, and Randy Johnson. If Vladimir Guerrero Jr. did that little skip to Malou around second base, he'd be the headless horseman for Halloween this year and be in a full body cast leaving the Rogers Center if Randy Johnson was on the bump.
And he hits him, and now CeCe just lost himself $500,000 as he's thrown out of the game. That was the perfect guy to throw out. Sucre, the catcher, after they threw at Romine. And that's why CeCe's teammates love him, David. CeCe don't play.
These are the kind of guys I'm talking about. CeCe Sabathia, who lost out on $500,000 in an 11-0 game just to prove a point and just to get the back of his teammate. And he's the perfect point that you need to hold people accountable, and you need to cash that receipt when the team needs you most.
Line drive, it's a base hit to right field. Bichette rounds third. The throw from Bellinger is in time. What a throw by Cody Bellinger for the final out of the inning.
Good evening and welcome to another installment of the New York Minute Sports Show. The Yankees tie the series through the raindrops in the Bronx. And tomorrow, we've got Mad Max Fury Road, Max Scherzer, Max Fried, showdown in the Bronx for the series win. We've got highlights. We got Aaron Boone's postgame press conference. It's New York Minute Sports. It's New York sports for New York nuts. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's go!
It's New York Minute Sports. It's New York Sports Talk.
Well, there you have it, folks. That game took absolutely forever. Welcome to New York Minute. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Yankees tie the series in the Bronx today through the raindrops. And the story of today is Luis Gil and Austin Wells. Yeah, that Austin Wells. But first, let's get to Luis Gil. Luis Gil went 6 innings, only gave up 1 earned run today in exactly what the Yankees needed after Cam Schlittler's performance last night. Luis Gil is going to be an integral part of the New York Yankees' September push to the playoffs and in October. You're looking at Luis Gil, the number 3 starter, probably when October comes around. And today he was getting to form. I've said it here on this show, Luis Gil needs to knock the ring rust off. And what I mean by that is he needs to get the cobwebs out and needs to get warmed up. When guys go down with injuries for a long time, they can rehab all they want down in Tampa. They can do AA and AAA starts all they want. Nothing is like Major League Baseball talent level, and nothing at the Major League level with hitting in the batter's box can replicate what you can face. So what Major League Baseball does now is they give guys reps in game. If you notice, Giancarlo Stanton never gets put down in AA or AAA, and they're willing to sacrifice the at-bats until he gets right. And Luis Gil, definitely they're doing that with him. But guess what? Every single start that he's made since he's come back from injury has been a step in the right direction, has been a confidence builder. And I don't know about you guys, but behind Max Fried and Carlos Rodon, when the leaves start falling and the postseason starts, that's going to be your number 3 starter on the New York Yankees, especially after Cam Schlittler kind of schlit the bed last night. We need to watch that. Will Warren, he schlit the bed a little bit the other night. We need to worry about that. Are the young arms getting tired approaching October, or is it just a little blip in the radar? But we got to keep an eye on that. The one negative about Luis Gil is he walks too many people. When he won Rookie of the Year, he led all of rookies with strikeouts and led all of Major League Baseball in walks, and he still has low numbers. Opposing batting average against him is only 187. Luis Gil's got the stuff, and he's the goods. But in post time and in crunch time, that's the one thing that's going to worry me is opening up innings with walks. And as John Sterling would always says, when you help them put people on, that first runner always seems to bite you in the butt, Susan. So the other guy, Austin Wells today, amazing play at home plate, and he was fired up. I don't know if you guys caught it on the broadcast. When he went back in the dugout after making that play in the 6th inning, he was shaking. He was slapping 5. He was breaking guys' hands. That's what I like to see from my ball club. Do you know who also brings that to this ball club? Is Cruz and Bednar. Those guys are fired up on the mound. Do you see Cruz's face? The mean mugging Cruz does, and he's all jacked up in the dugout. Max Fried went to go say something to him yesterday, and he turned around on Max Fried like he stole his wallet, and he's like, "What did you say?" And he's like, No, it's all good." Cruz gets in that cruise control, man, and he is a force to be reckoned with. And then Bednar gets in there. He's like almost a quasi-starter. He's just like Luke Weaver, where he's got all these pitches in his arsenal in his back pocket. So as a closer, they usually only have 3 pitches, and they're all gas. But Bednar and Cruz, I like the back-to-back, and I like Weaver in the 7th because Weaver is a hybrid. He gives you flexibility late in games because he can go 3 or he can go 5 if he's got his stuff. Weaver was a little shaky today. He was the most shaky out of all the bullpen. They didn't give up any runs, gave up some long fly balls, but that's no big deal. But Luke Weaver still trying to right the ship. Now on to our next subject. There was a lot of hate, vitriol, and the trolls were out in the comment section of the video I posted last night of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. about how I think the New York Yankees should throw at Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and then all of the crybabies came out. You can't throw at Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Only losers say that they throw at other players. Well, guess what? You're watching the wrong show. This is New York Minute Sports, and I'm going to tell you the facts. And the facts are, I grew up in the 90s. I grew up with guys like Roger Clemens, Pedro Martinez, and Randy Johnson. If Vladimir Guerrero Jr. did that little skip to Malou around second base, he'd be the headless horseman for Halloween this year and be in a full body cast leaving the Rogers Center if Randy Johnson was on the bump. And you guys are saying, oh, well, the game has changed. Well, guess what? The game has gotten worse because of it. The Red Sox and the Yankees didn't like each other. It wasn't some manufactured rivalry like they tried to do earlier this year, where both teams don't hate each other because they're making gazillions of dollars. They're in the same union, and they're all boys from AA and AAA, and it doesn't matter because it's a big boys club, so nobody throws at anybody. You know why you throw at somebody? For intimidation. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has been eating the Yankees' lunch in the Bronx for a very long time now. His father made a career out of it, okay? If you throw inside on this guy and establish the inside of the plate, then you establish the breaking ball across the plate. It's simple genetics. Look at what Randy Johnson does to John Kruk in the All-Star game.
John Kruk fanning himself off. Johnson has had pitches clocked at as much as 102 miles per hour in Major League play.
This is the All-Star game, and Randy Johnson is headhunting on people. And if you cry about it in the comments section, I don't know what to tell you. You might want to put your thumb in your mouth, blow real hard, and hopefully out of that vagina, some balls pop out, because I couldn't stand the crying in the comments section from the Toronto Blue Jays fans. And then they were going, oh, what about Jazz Chisholm? He does it. Yeah, I don't like that either.
Times it was an 0-2 pitch. Martinez has a 2-0 lead and a gem on his hands, and he's got to go ahead and blow part of that by hitting Sanders. That ball was well inside, and Reggie's going to take issue at it and go right after him. And I'll tell you, between that matchup, I would want to be Pedro Martinez, but.
And Reggie's going to go after him. It's the third time.
This is the problem. Hitting home runs and staring at them and doing the showboating and shit like that, that's fine. You could do that back in the day, in the 90s. Ruben Sierra, who was a Yankee, made a living off of that, doing the trot. And I loved it, okay? But he would pay the price next time he showed up. Guys would do that. They would stare at a home run, but they know next time they're getting one in the ribs, but that's how they would pay for it. This where there was an unwritten rule in baseball, okay? We keep things in-house. Now everything's on social media. Now when you see the bench-clearing brawls, they aren't bench-clearing brawls. Did you see why Matt Chapman got suspended a game for what happened in that little brawl the other day, which between the Rockies and the Giants, which was nothing? And that's the thing. I'm on the Rockies pitcher's side because Rafael Devers, first of all, is the biggest POS in Major League Baseball, but he sits there, he pimps out his home run, and this guy's a veteran in the league. Yeah, don't give up the home run. I get it. But also, I'm throwing at this guy next time. Matt Chapman comes in and pushes a guy, and he gets suspended for a game. Bro, there used to be outward brawls. Remember the Orioles and the New York Yankees?
Doubt about it. Drilled squarely in the back by Benitez. A fastball. Immediate ejection follows. Tino had to be restrained. He remembers this is not the first time that this has happened. Now, Benitez looking over saying, hey, Yankees, you want a piece of me? Come and get it. I'm right here. And here they come. The brawl. Watch Graham Lloyd and Jeff Nelson going headhunting, and they find Benitez. Now, nobody really connects in the exchanges here, but this action prompts another wave of flying fists, and just when it looks like for a glimmer of a second anyway that things might cool down, forget about it, Benitez will look away momentarily and watch Darryl right there.
Bro, I watched Pedro Martinez throw Don Zimmer, the bench coach, on his head. Okay? Don Zimmer is 78 at the time with 2 knee replacements and a World War II vet. I was livid. But guess what? Man, baseball was a lot more exciting. But man, I'll tell you, baseball was a lot more exciting than the product that we got on the field today. Nowadays, baseball is all strikeouts, walks, and home runs, and everybody's playing grab ass on second base and laughing and talking about their dinner reservations afterwards with the players on the other team. There is no more hate. There's no more Bird and Magic. There's no more Pedro and Alex Rodriguez. The rivalry's dead because these guys don't dislike each other. That's the main reason for a rivalry.
The 6th inning. And he gets low bridged. And he's taking a look at it, Kittredge. You wonder if that was retribution for hitting off. And he hits him, and now CC just lost himself $500,000 as he's thrown out of the game. That was the perfect guy to throw out. Sucre, the catcher, after they threw at Romine. And that's why CC's teammates love him, David.
These are the kind of guys I'm talking about. CC Sabathia, who lost out on $500,000 in an 11-0 game just to prove a point and just to get the back of his teammate. That wasn't too long ago, and Major League Baseball has changed dramatically as far as I'm concerned. Do you think anybody on the Yankees would do a move like this nowadays? Let me know in the comments section below, because CC Sabathia could have played in any generation at any time, and he's the perfect point that you need to hold people accountable, and you need to cash that receipt when the team needs you most. All those guys that are complaining for me being too based and me being too much of a hardo and a baseball traditionalist, you're just like the new New York Yankees. Soft as shit and bad in crunch time. Huh. I think I figured it out. Now let's go to Aaron Boone's post-game press conference.
Obviously a big.
Look at that throw that Bellinger made in the 6th inning to keep you guys in the lead.
Yeah, great play. You know, off the bat, it's
Cody Bellinger's throw at home. Wells made the play. I know I was singing his praises, but Cody Bellinger could play anywhere on the field. This guy is worth his weight in gold. Let me know in the comments section. Do you want to see the Yankees re-sign Cody Bellinger? Because as being a 90s guy, as I've said before on this episode, he reminds me of the old prototype Yankee. Plays solid defense, hits in the clutch, hits for average, not too many home runs, a good amount of RBIs, got his head in the game on about 650 milligrams of edibles, which I feel Cody Bellinger, 650 milligrams.
Pulled. I didn't even think of having a play there. And obviously a great throw. Great job by Wells on the receiving end. Obviously a big out for us.
What was Heel doing that made him so effective against that tough lineup there?
I mean, he's still working it out, but at the end, look up again.
See what I'm saying? He's still working it out. He's knocking that ring rust off. By the way, ring rust is a boxing term for guys that haven't had a fight in a long time. If a guy usually has a layoff more than a year and a half, you have ring rust after that. So as you can see from Aaron Boone's smile, it's like he doesn't even know how he's getting around it because he has no control and he's still only giving up one run. And guys are getting on base all the time, and no one seems to cross the plate. So however he's doing it, voodoo or whatever he's doing, keep doing it. And that's why Aaron Boone has a big Kool-Aid smile and a smirk on his face, is because he doesn't know how Luis Gil does it, and he's about 45 feet away from him.
One run against obviously a really good lineup. So, still want to limit the walks a little bit. But he's wild enough right now around the zone, and his stuff is good enough to where I thought he had a really good slider today at times. He mixed well with his fastball changeup. He's a little unpredictable right now. And he's, he doesn't flinch, and he doesn't,
But you know what? That unpredictability almost plays to Luis Gil's advantage. Sometimes when the guy's in the batter's box and it's a really good pitcher and he kind of knows that he has really good control, all he has to do is worry about what pitch he's going to pitch next. With Luis Gil, it's like, yeah, you can be expecting curveball, get curveball, and it's way out of the place, so you get all out of whack. So Luis Gil, even with his craziness, it brings a little bit of question marks to the batters.
When things get a little away from him for an at-bat or two, like he's...
How would you describe Fernando Cruz on the mound and just what he's meant to you guys since
he's been awesome. Obviously getting him back in the mix. And
intense, fired up, and a winner. That's how I would definitely define Cruz. I was getting on his case because Aaron Boone is obsessed with him, and Cruz wasn't ready from his injury to pitch in a real high-leverage situation, and I thought Aaron Boone was doing Cruz a disservice by pitching him the other night when he blew it. But when he is ready to go, and you can see that he's ready to go now, him and Bednar, 8-9, really formidable duo.
He's got so many big outs for us, wants the ball, obviously coming in there at the top of the order to get 4 big outs for us was huge.
And that's my perfect point and example. He's a throwback to the old school pitchers who have some intimidation, who are lively on the mound. They're just not some robot with no emotions out there. I'd rather have a Cruz 10 days a week than rather a mute like Anthony Volpe. I love to see emotion. I love to see guys get fired up. It fires the other team up. It fires the crowd up. I mean, it's like the Yankees have been sleepwalking through the first 3 quarters of the season. Now with the addition of Bednar and with the addition of Cruz, and even Duvall's got that kind of personality, and Caballero's got that personality. So you added some fireworks to this bonfire, and it might blow up in late September, baby. Blow up.
Having those 2 big sacrifice flies, and he seems to have figured something out at the plate. What have you seen from him lately, and how big were those bats today?
Yeah, and a bullet.
If you remember, Austin Wells was our 4-hitter at this point last year. He was knocking the cover off the ball. I've said this before. He has it in him to do it. He's just been a bonehead all year. And I also think he's been getting the shit beat out of him behind the plate all season long. And that definitely contributes to you being consistent at the plate. And they say that his preparation with the pitchers and all that nonsense takes away from his hitting, which I find asinine. But let's stop making excuses for Austin Wells right now. But my point is, If he can get back to even near the form that he was in last August and September when he was hitting in the 4 spot, that would be an amazing addition to the New York Yankees because that is your catcher in the postseason. Ben Rice is not going to be behind the plate. Austin Wells is going to be the catcher in the postseason, and Ben Rice will be your first baseman with Paul Goldschmidt coming on as a defensive replacement after the 7th inning. That's the way it's going to go down. So we're going to live and die by Anthony Volpe, Austin Wells, and I hope not Devin Williams. Hey, it's the Three Amigos.
Put to second for his out, line drive, 108, I think.
Like I said before, 11 sack flies this season. 2 today, leads Major League Baseball. I love those kind of stats. 90s guy, small ball.
I thought he had great at-bats today all the way around. Obviously a really tough lefty there, getting the 3-2, hitting the ball well, got robbed in right center earlier on the sack fly by Barger, making a good play on him. But it's now some traction for the last week or so, and his work's been really good. And again, I'm saying it when he was going through it, like, this is what he's capable of. This is who we believe he is, more in line with offensively, making better swing decisions, getting into some deeper counts. I think one of the home runs he hit a few days ago, it was a result of taking a couple pitches that, he had prior been chasing to get him to a good count, to get him into a situation where he's able to take advantage of a mistake. So it's good to see him.
One of the most important stats of the night is that 0 next to the 5 hits in the Yankees box score right there. 0 errors today.
And I thought he did a really good job. It was 4:30, so we had plenty of time, and no one, and kind of that bulldog on the mound. I learned a lot from the fact that Cruiser and Bednar got 4. It's not something I want to do every time, but they've all shown the ability to do it, and that's important.
Meredith.
Like I said, you guys have people in the bullpen like Cruz, Bednar, and Weaver who can get 4 outs if needed. You don't really want to do that during the regular season and burn them out, but these are must-wins right now, divisional games. But let's just say, if the Yankees need that many outs, that's 12 outs that 3 guys can get, and then we don't have to keep adding clowns to the circus and clowns to the clown car in crucial situations. And then if we get a left-handed batter, we bring in Tim, King of the Hill, none other. He gets the day off from AutoZone and comes in because Tim Hill is my dude. He is that dude.
With Bednar, he's obviously had success in the past, but Austin said on the field, he doesn't care who's in the batter's box. He's just ready to attack late in the game. Have you learned anything about him in the short time that he's been here that maybe you wouldn't have seen from afar?
We heard great stuff about him from a makeup standpoint when we got him. And he's certainly been that. He's really easygoing, good dude, in the clubhouse and walking in each day. And then, super competitive and kind of that bulldog on the mound. I learned a lot from him the first outing when he in Miami, gives up the home run, gives up the lead. And it's like, let's go back out. And he goes out and has
well, that's one of the best. That's one of the best attributes of a closing pitcher is you got to have a short memory and get right back there and do it tomorrow. Little stat at the bottom. The Yankees are 10-3 in their last 13 games. The Yankees are doing what they got to do. They've put themselves in a position to win this series against Toronto tomorrow, and it's Mad Max Fury Road. Max Scherzer against Max Fried. You got the veteran. Max Scherzer doesn't have his best stuff, but he is such a crafty veteran. He is such a headsy baseball player, and he is probably the best and most well-prepared starting pitcher in all of Major League Baseball anytime he goes out on the hill. Also, he's another guy that really rises to the occasion in big spots. Everybody was scratching their head why the Toronto Blue Jays got Max Scherzer. They kind of thought the Toronto Blue Jays missed out on everybody, and they were just appeasing their fans because nobody was taking the Blue Jays' money at that point. But Max Scherzer has paid dividends for the Toronto Blue Jays. His win-loss record wouldn't be indicative of that, but Max Scherzer has been pitching well, and we will see what he does in the Bronx tomorrow. But he goes up. Max Fried, baby. That's who you got to bring up, is your ace in the rotation. And that's the other Max Fried, who's been pitching Cy Young caliber quality baseball this year. And Max Fried, our stopper, comes in. It's not after a loss, but it's going to be a pitching showdown in the Bronx tomorrow. And I'm going to have it covered wall to wall right here on the New York Yankees postgame show. And remember, it's New York Minute Sports. It's New York sports for New York nuts. All my Jet fans, I'm going to be doing a Jets postgame tomorrow after they get massacred by the Steelers. Also, I'm going to have a little Jets-Steelers preview later tonight. I'm going to release it, and you're going to have it all covered. New York football, or we're going to start our Football Fridays next week where we make all the picks. We talk to Giants fans. We even have some call-ins and emails. We got all the bells and whistles coming to you, folks, this NFL season. Also, merch line, New York Minute merch line. We got it all, baby. And remember, if you can't be good, be bad, baby. Bye.